5 years ago, I started my Buddhist discussion group called the Lotus Sutra Lab. And after the very first session, somebody approached me and said, "Hey, you are really disorganized." Hearing this, I was shocked, I was hurt, I lost my self-confidence. I was kind of traumatized by that. But it didn't stop me. Like today, 5 years later, I retrospectively think that the voice of the critic was the voice of a bodhisattva. So I'm grateful. But the question is, how was I able to transform the saddest moment of hearing the criticism into gratitude? That's what I want to speak about today, even though it's a little bit difficult emotionally for me to share. But the hope of creating this video is that if you are undergoing any criticism in your life, I hope this video will show that you will be never alone in coping with that criticism. Hearing criticism against you really sucks, and I hate those moments. And I must admit that I'm mentally weak. I'm not a confident person. So hearing just a little bit of criticism from others really affects my mood, my confidence. Since I'm talking to you right now into the camera, I may look like a confident guy, but I'm not. And I hate, and I really don't like myself being unconfident and also too weak sort of to repel criticism. But through studying and practicing Buddhism, I think I found a way of being okay with my mental weakness and spiritual quality. So what happened in my transformation is that I started to accept things that I don't like about myself. So that's the key to my Buddhist way of dealing with criticism. Here's what I found in a nutshell. Being not confident and being greatly susceptible to criticism are the essential aspects of my bodhisattva commitment. This is how Buddhism helped me find an unexpected meaning of the criticism I got. This perspective transformed the way I relate to the criticism. In Mahayana Buddhism, bodhisattvas are enlightened beings who made a vow to become a Buddha by choosing to undergo millions and millions of cycles of rebirth so that they can attain skills to reach out to, relate to, and empathize all sentient beings, so that they, together with them, these all sentient beings, achieve their own Buddhahood. And the Buddhist scriptures such as the Lotus Sutra emphatically helps us imagine this. What if difficult days in your life are something you in your distant past life chose to undergo so that you can become a better bodhisattva? What if you in the past life that you don't even remember dreamed about being born as you in this life, as someone who doesn't have self-confidence and is not strong enough to repel criticism? What if your weakness and things you don't like about yourself in this life are the virtues that you in the past dreamed about attaining because that's the perfect practice for you to become a Buddha in the future? So this wisdom of the Lotus Sutra really changed my perspective about what I'm undergoing right now, especially when it comes to receiving some criticism. It changes the meaning of what you are really doing, right? From a broader perspective and context. So that's the effective reading method of the Lotus Sutra that I learned in my Buddhist community of kosei-kai. Founder of RK Buddhism, Nikkyo Wano, emphatically said, well, intellectual understanding of Buddhism is great, it's essential, of course you should do that. But at the same time, he said, unless you use and test Buddhist wisdom you learned into your everyday life, unless you test them, use them, apply them into the concrete situations that you are facing in your life, like how to improve my performance at work, how to repair my relationship with some difficult friends and so on, difficult supervisor in the office and everything. Unless you practice, you will never get to taste the joy of learning and practicing the Dharma. And I think he's right on that. So he created kosei-kai, where people gather around suffering, people listen to the stories of struggles and Buddhist practice one another, and cultivate compassion in our heart so that we can together bolster our study and practice of Buddhism in the world of uncertainty. Hearing criticism is greatly difficult for me. But I start to ask myself, what if me in the past life desired to encounter this criticism in this present life? This thought kind of sat well with me because I know that my vocation in this life is to become a Buddhist educator. So I was kind of in need of a boost for my pedagogical growth. So I further asked myself, how can I improve more? How can I become better, facilitator of conversations and prepare my lectures better? So with this thought, 1 year passed, 2 years passed, and I gradually became a better facilitator, and I started to prepare much better in more organized ways. So, but importantly, this growth and progress would not be happening without the voice of the critic, who is my bodhisattva. Thanks to that, the ways I pay attention to things as an educator was transformed. I should say thanks to this pain in the ass that sucks. So the critic has never come back to my discussion group, but nevertheless, forever will continue to be a bodhisattva and a guide for the rest of my life. So now I think I can say I'm glad that me in the past life made a vow to encounter with this critic in this present life. So thank you. Thank you, my past life. Now I'm your dream life. I made sure to receive the criticism, to be a Buddha with you. What kind of bodhisattva commitment did you make? Let me know in comments. Let's live in the world of the bodhisattva and the universal Buddhahood.